Still not working. Mhm.
Are we live now?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
And I do apologize to the board and to the public on this recording. We will switch to a new platform for the next meeting. I was under the impression that this was fixed, so I do apologize. Mr. Lee is saying that it is fixed, but I'm just going to okay, they are hearing us now, so we can start again. I apologize, Ms. Hennessy. If you can just start from the beginning, that would be great.
No problem. Okay. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending. Tonight, I will be presenting the 2020-21 final budget proposal in the amount of $40,163,500. This represents a 1.72% budget to budget increase. This year, as Dr. Bloom spoke of earlier, we are facing a unique set of challenges. The first of which is that our tax receipts have been delayed from Nassau County, which has caused us significant financial stress. We don't have any information at this time from the county about exactly when we'll receive our funds, nor have they provided any information about future delays that we could face. Secondly, state aid. Increases to our state aid originally pledged for 2021 have been revoked. Additionally, Governor Cuomo has cautioned that another cut of up to 20% of our state aid, which represents approximately $1.5 to $2 million for Franklin Square, can be cut. And as if that was not enough, the governor has further warned us that throughout the school year next year, we can sustain further cuts in our aid at any time. When developing our budget, we focused not only on the challenges, but also our guiding principles, which include a commitment to provide the lowest class sizes possible, continuing our annual investments in transportation, technology, and facilities maintenance, minimizing our impact on taxes. We're very proud to once again be ranked the lowest per pupil expenditure in Nassau County. And lastly, we've planned for future budgets and minimizing future tax increases to our community. This budget proposal maintains all of our current curriculum and instruction components. Highlights include our New York State Standards Aligned textbook series, our guided reading and pre-K programs, as well as our one-to-one computing initiative, which is our iPad initiative, replacement of aging technology, and our STEM Z-Space interactive discovery labs. In the areas of transportation and facilities maintenance, we seek to appropriately fund our budget code so that we continue to update and keep a safe environment and fleet. We do retire one bus each year, the oldest bus on the fleet, and replace with a new bus. This budget proposal also allows us to continue our expanded transportation service offering. I'm sure most of us are familiar at this point that we now operate under the property tax levy limit legislation, which states that the growth of the property tax levy is controlled. Districts in compliance with their maximum allowable levy limit will require a simple majority vote, while those seeking to exceed or pierce the cap require a supermajority vote. Franklin Square has never exceeded their cap, and we are not proposing to do so this year either. The most significant change under this law is that 2 failed votes now result in a 0% levy increase, meaning that despite rising mandated costs, the district would not be allowed to raise an additional dollar in revenue. The basics of how to compute the tax levy are that you start with your expenditure budget, which is the amount of money necessary to support your academic year. You subtract out all non-tax sources of revenue, such as state aid, local revenue, and the use of reserves. We are proposing to utilize a portion of our ERS and TRS reserves next year to help us balance the budget. And lastly, what's left, or the amount of money you still need to raise, is what you raise through your tax levy. I think this slide illustrates nicely why a mid-year cut in state aid could be particularly dangerous to the district, as we do need to plan and for a certain amount in our budget process. Our proposed levy increase for next year is 2.33%. This is tax cap compliant. We are not piercing the cap. Will your taxes on your home increase by exactly 2.33%? No, they won't. And that's because an individual's property taxes varies based on the assessed value of your home. Nassau County assigns an assessed value and a unique value to each home in the county. That number is then multiplied by the school tax rate, which the district determines and is the same for every home in Nassau County. The result is your unique tax bill. To illustrate this point further, I've researched 2 homes in Franklin Square that visually and on paper are pretty much identical. You can see that simply because the county values these identical homes very differently, they have a large difference in their school tax bill. Our ability to consistently present budgets that remain in compliance with the tax cap while offering a robust educational program is made possible by multi-year financial planning, a bond refunding that took place when I first came on board approximately 10 years ago, and we're still saving in excess of $1 million per year, the utilization of our reserves in a thoughtful and measured manner, as well as staff pay freezes. Another unique factor this year is that we are unclear how a contingency budget will work. As I said earlier, in the past, the school district was allowed 2 failed votes before being mandated to a contingent budget. We're absent any guidance at this point if that rule will remain in place or if the governor will not be allowing a second vote. If that's the case, then if the district vote was to fail the first time, we'd be mandated to a contingent budget, which dictates that our tax levy amount cannot be increased from the prior year, despite rising mandated costs. Therefore, it would necessitate cuts to the budget proposal. Examples of what possibly could be cut under a contingent budget are listed on this slide. Now this year we will be voting on June 9th, and we will be voting by paper absentee ballots only. A ballot will be sent to each resident in the district, and additional voter information can be found on our website. When you do vote this year, you will once again see additional propositions related to our capital reserves. In 2016, the voters approved the capital reserve, which was a list of projects, and each year we've chosen a project or 2 from the list and the voters have approved that project. The Phase 1, masonry and paving repairs, partial roof replacement at Polk and John Street, and foundation repairs at Washington Street School projects have been completed. Phase 2's projects of installation of air conditioning in multi-use spaces at Polk Street and John Street have also been completed. Phase 3 is the renovation of approximately 50% of our student bathrooms. That is approximately 98% complete, with a few minor punch list items that were still lingering when schools closed. And then lastly, last May, the community approved Phase 4, which would be the renovation of the remaining 50% of student bathrooms. That was scheduled to take place this summer. At this point in time, we are unsure the timing of the project due to the situation we're currently in. So as I said earlier, there'll be 2 propositions related to the capital reserve on the ballot. The district is asking for approval. However, even if approval is received, we will reevaluate our financial situation and our feasibility of moving forward with both before we proceed. The first proposition is to choose another project from the 2016 capital reserve list. These projects we're calling Phase 5 include air conditioning the Washington Street School gym, transforming our libraries into maker spaces, which will be very generously supplemented by a $50,000 grant from Senator Kaplan given to us in this school year, and renovating our John Street School outdoor area to address a number of safety concerns. At present time, the bus lot is too small to house all of our buses, which leads to school buses being parked in the staff parking lot and moved around throughout the day. We'd also like to move our playground to a safer location so that our children do not have to cross that parking lot to get to their playground. And lastly, we need to repair a sinkhole that we've had an issue with for a number of years in the John Street School ball field. The estimated total cost of all the listed projects is $3.5 million, and this reserve will not increase taxes. The second proposition is the creation of a new capital reserve. As I said earlier, the first capital reserve was a list of projects approved in 2016, which came from what we call a building condition survey, which is a New York State mandated report that we have to have completed every 5 years by a licensed architect. We were due for a new survey, which identified new issues that need to be addressed that were not approved in the 2016 reserve. Therefore, we're asking our voters to consider creating a new reserve to allow us to address these issues. Examples of the issues include roof replacements, lighting replacements, flooring repairs and replacements, and upgrades to our boiler control systems. Approving this reserve will not result in an increase to our taxes. Thank you very much, Board of Education and Dr. Bloom.
Thank you, Ms. Hennessy. If the board will allow, just because I know the public was unable to hear the opening, I just want to repeat again. As Ms. Hennessy stated, with federal funding not allocated at this point, Governor Cuomo is saying that we are at risk of losing up to 20% of our state aid, which is about, as she mentioned, $1.5 to $2 million. So we are asking families to sign the Federal Assistance is Needed Now petition. I sent a link via email earlier today. It's also posted on our social media account. And together, if we, stand strong, we can help our representatives in Washington advocate for funds that we so desperately need. This year, we have 2 board seats up for election. Mr. Leader is running unopposed, and we have 2 individuals, Ms. Hanson and Mr. Vallone, who are running for the remainder of Mr. Lewinger's term. A Meet the Candidate Night hosted by Interschool PTA will be announced in the next few days. As Ms. Hennessy stated, our budget hearing will be held on June 2nd. We will post a link to the budget presentation on our website, along with a form that the community can use to ask questions, and questions will be answered the night of the budget hearing. In addition, a link to the live stream will be posted on the website and sent via email. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bloom. Thank you, Mrs. Hennessy.
And so board approval is requested to adopt the budget for the 2021 school year.
Hoffman, move it.
Curcio, second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion approved.
Board approval is requested to adopt the district's real property tax report card for the 2021 school year.
Hoffman, move it.
Leader, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion approved. Thank you once again. I just want to thank Dr. Bloom and Mrs. Hennessy for tonight's presentation. I invite everyone to the June 2nd meeting, and I'd like to get a motion to adjourn our pre-budget hearing.
Hoffman, move it.
Leader, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you leave?